not going to stand here and celebrate residential schools that this state nation put forth to our indigenous people and force them to go through things like over 400 years of genocide, over 400 years of the stealing of culture, the stealing of land, the lack of recognizing indigenous sovereignty. I'm not going to stand and celebrate that.
Hi, my name is Donica O'Brien.
I'm Angelica Barrett.
I'm Andrade.
Chelsea Scuria. Randeep Singh.
Sanma Abdullah.
And our focus today is on the university as the site of institutional racist, gendered, and homophobic trans violence. However, in historical context, this oppression dates all the way back to the 10th century, where notions of academic freedom became prevalent in the Middle East and North Africa until European colonialism. You then see a gap until the 19th century in Germany, when a man named Alexander von Humboldt came up with the Humboldtian model of higher education that fought for the freedom to teach and the freedom to learn. It quickly ended when the Nazis came into power in 1933. On the other side of the world, the American Association of University Professors in the United States focused on the freedom to teach and research. This idea is now famously known as the 1994 Statement. However, during the middle of the 20th century in Canada, a history professor at United College, which is now known as the University of Winnipeg, named Harry Crow, criticized the institution for its lack of academic freedom and ended up getting fired for it. His case, nevertheless, gained national attention. And finally, towards the end of the 20th century, academic freedom became a global interest, initiating questions as to whether it should remain traditional, where one is only free within academic domains, versus social, where one is engaged beyond academic domains. But before we dive further into this topic, you might be asking yourself, what even is academic freedom?
As just scholars, I think we're supposed to be able to be in an institution and to communicate ideas that make people uncomfortable, right? And even within this academic freedom, because of the language, folks are able to use that on either discourse. Freedom of speech comes up a lot. I think it's important to recognize that it's freedom of expression in a so-called Canadian context. And that's supposed to ensure that folks like myself, folks like the many Indigenous water protectors, Two-Spirit women, and so on, have a space to be able to voice what we experience. It's all very selective. It's the folks that are the most marginalized, the folks that are racialized, the folks that are living within various different intersections that are the ones that are being cut out of that freedom.
This is Masuma Khan, the Vice President Academic and External at the Dalhousie Student Union. Last year, in the summer of 2017, Masuma Student Union created a campaign called Decolonize Education, Unlearn 150 to challenge the programming that was happening on a national level. This motion, however, received massive backlash as far as direct death threats to Masuma herself. To address such sentiments and reach out to fellow activists for support, Masuma made a personal Facebook post that ended with,
#white fragility can kiss my ass. White tears aren't sacred, this land is. The administration, I guess, didn't exactly like it. So my vice provost shamed me for using the language I did. She came back to me and she was like, oh, you have someone put in a complaint against you.
This very pixelated claim was made by a white history student named Michael Smith, stating that Masuma had been racist toward those of European descent. He also used reverse racism in an attempt to get the university to discipline Masuma. Today, there are many people like Michael Smith, but the reason why we never hear about the university taking action against those white nationalists is because they count on us
leaving in 4 years and not learning anything about how racist they are or challenging them. They want us to be so bogged down in work that we never tell them, hey, I'm watching you and I see what you're doing. So I feel like we have to build community. And then we need to think about strategic strategic ways that we can challenge the university through anti-racism campaigns, getting anti-racism policies on our campus, like ensuring that Black students, Indigenous students, racialized students have specific supports for them, that they're supported culturally, I think is a really huge one. We just have to continue challenging them, continue to be a thorn in their side.